Now, I'm just going to warn you, like, before I even get to this, before I even get to ranting about this, I'm just going to warn you, this is not going to be a visually pleasing video. I have a very busy schedule right now. I'm putting this video out the night or the morning of, I don't really know what I'm doing yet. I'm just recording it. I don't know. I'm winging it. I'm winging it. So whenever this video goes out is before I need to go and do something. I don't have time to edit. So you're going to have probably one picture on the screen for the entire video. So use this as a podcast. This is not going to be a visually pleasing video. Same for WWE. Use it as a podcast. Use it as you go on a walk, as you're taking a shit, as you're playing a game, anything. But this is not going to be. There's going to be one picture on the screen for the entire video, basically. This is basically going to be a therapy session for me. I'm not going to a therapist and saying, all right, mate, yeah, can I rant to you about WWE? Can I rant to you about Triple H and his massive nose? Can I rant to you about all the awful booking decisions and sit here for 10 hours talking about each thing that I hate about this company right now? I'm not going to do that. They would not care. That would not be allowed. um, and I don't really know anyone that still watches WWE. None of my friends, even my friends that used to watch it, don't anymore, and I could not blame them any less. So this is my way to get it all out. This is my therapy session, and you're all here to listen along. I don't know where it's going. I'm winging it. I'm 100% winging this. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I have no idea how long it's going to be. I have no idea where it's going. But that's part of the fun, right? We'll see where we end up. We'll see where you're along on this journey with me. Wherever we end up is wherever we end up. Now, where do I start? I think I want to start with the thing that's on my mind, the thing that's kind of a talking point right now that I was going to make a video on, but I didn't really care enough to make an entire video about it. But the Goldberg situation, he's not a happy boy. He's not a happy man, but he's not an happy old Berg. Tell you what, he's not a happy boy. He is not a fan of how his retirement match went and his retirement speech after the match. He wanted a PLE, probably wanted that Saudi money, right? Probably wanted to wait until his Saudi event, probably wanted Night of Champions, but he got Saturday night's main event. And then his retirement speech gets cut short. No, I think people are very 50-50 with this. There's 50% people that are like, no, that's disrespectful. You can't do a legend like that. Even if you're not a fan of him, you can't cut someone's retirement speech short. It's still Goldberg. He's still a legend, whether you hate him or not. And then the other 50% is like, what else do you want, mate? You got your retirement match. You got it on the show. You got the main event. You got a title match. You got your retirement speech after. What more do you want? I'm in the middle. I would sway more towards it's disrespectful, but at the same time, you are going for a title. You did get the main event. You did get a retirement speech. You did have it feel like a big. Well, for WWE, it was the best they could do because they don't have a creative bone in their body. Triple H doesn't. This was the best he could do for you, which isn't saying much, by the way, but it is. Now, I'm not a big fan of Goldberg. Not a fan. I don't. Not a Bret Hart level. I mean, I don't think that's possible. I don't think there is a human being alive that's ever hated another human as much as Bret hates Goldberg. I don't think it's possible. I think it is literally impossible to hate someone as much as Bret hates Goldberg. Every opportunity he gets to take a dig, he takes a dig, and I respect it. It's quite funny, actually. I like it. I don't hate him that much, but it is disrespectful. It is. And it wouldn't surprise me if Triple H did it on purpose because they've had their issues in the past. So it would not surprise me in the slightest if this was Triple H's little way of having a dig on the way out. It would not surprise me because if there's anyone more petty than Triple H is no longer alive because he's the pettiest human alive. Just look at how he treats AEW. Fuck it, that's what we're going through next. That's what we'll talk about next. As I said, don't know where this entire video is going, We're winging it. WWE, Triple H, TKO constantly trying to position themselves to put give a disadvantage to AEW, putting shows on the same weekend, going to the same arena that AEW is booked well in advance, going 1 or 2 weeks before. So everyone that's in that city that wants to go to a wrestling show, most of them are going to want to go to a WWE show. So then when AEW comes a week or two later, they're not going to care as much. Little things like that, little business moves like that, because to constantly try and just be petty, just to try and hinder them, when it just makes you look like you want us to believe that AEW are not competition, they're nothing, right? That's what they want us to believe. That's what they constantly have told us and want us to believe, that AEW is nothing. They're not competition. They're just a little bit of chewing gum on the bottom of the shoe that you just can't get rid of, but it means nothing, right? That's what they want us to believe. But if they were nothing, if they weren't competition, if they were non-exist, like nothing, why are you trying constantly to hinder them, to make them feel less, to make less people see them, do business moves to... I can't think of the word, honestly. It's pretty late in England right now. I can't think of the word, I'll be honest. I'm trying to go around it whilst I'm trying to waffle whilst thinking of the word. I cannot think of the word. Hinder. We'll go with hinder. Don't hinder Jinder. I miss Jinder Mahal, I'll be honest. But anyway. um, Constantly doing business moves. They like to tell us that they're nothing, but they'll bring over all of their stars. They'll bring over Penta. They'll bring over Ricky Saints. They'll bring over Mariah May. They'll bring over Jade Cargill. They'll bring Cody Rhodes. They'll bring Rusev, Aleister Black, and more, Andrade. But they'll tell us that they're nothing. They'll lead us to believe they don't see them as competition. They're nothing. They're nothing to them. But every time someone becomes available, yeah, we'll take them. We'll take them. If they were nothing, why would you want their stars? Why would you want their wrestlers if the company is nothing? Why would you constantly go out your way to put events on the same weekend? 3 events on the same weekend. NXT, Night of Ch- no, not Night of Ch- Saturday Night's Main Event and Evolution, all on the same weekend. 2 of them were on the same day as All In. Yet you want us to believe that you think AEW isn't a threat to you. They're not a threat at all. They're no competition. Yet you constantly go out your way to hinder them. Yeah, whatever, mate. Whatever. Don't believe it. Don't believe it at all. And any time and any other AEW becomes available, they're going to get them in. Which is my next rant. Too many wrestlers. Why did they sign Rusev? Why did they sign Andrade? They've done nothing with them. They sign everyone and do nothing with them. Ray Phoenix, they're on TV. I guess you could count that as doing something, but they're not involved in anything. They haven't done anything big. They're just bringing in names from AEW to get a bit of a rating spike, which is what people always used to say about AEW, right? Which was correct, by the way. AEW would just bring anyone, doesn't matter what level you are, they'd bring you in. And that harmed them for a long time, because they'd bring in someone like Keith Lee, do something with him for a week, and then 2 weeks later, he was just another member of the roster. Like, you couldn't care less about Keith Lee. They did nothing with him. But now WWE does it. They just bring everyone in. What about you stars that you've already got? What about Chad Gable? What are you doing with Chad Gable? Nothing. What are you doing with Carmelo Hayes? Nothing. Trick Williams hasn't even touched the main roster yet. So many young, talented people on that roster are being replaced by AEW talent, yet you love to tell us and lead us to believe that they're not a threat, they're no competition, they're nothing. They're a pissant company. Triple H's words exactly. When AEW beat NXT, beating them consistently, Triple H went and said, "Oh, well done, you beat our developmental brand." Yet you're bringing over all of their wrestlers, mate. So I think you're lying. I think you're lying, Triple H, and I know you're lying. Which is another thing. Triple H constantly taking digs at the fans, lying to the fans, leading us to believe or hinting at, oh, releasing our truth. That was a work. Oh, are you enjoying the show? Are you enjoying the show? That's what he said. When someone asked him at a press conference, because they do one after every PLE, and it's stupid. There's no reason for these press conferences after these shows other than Triple H as an excuse to get his face out there and his voice, because he cannot stand not being the face of the company. He cannot stand not being a wrestler anymore. He cannot stand being. He cannot stand not being the star of the company, the face of the company. So every press conference, after every PLE, it's him. Every late night talk show, every interview, every podcast, it's him. Because he loves WrestleMania. Every interview, podcast that he could possibly do, he did. Instead of actually sitting down and booking WrestleMania better than what we got, which is one of the worst WrestleManias, maybe the worst WrestleMania we've ever witnessed, he was busy on his podcasts and his talk shows and his interviews. And on pretty much all of them, taking digs at the fans. If you complain, you're not a real fan. If you complain, you're a critic. Just enjoy the show. Just be a fan. Well, Hunter. Well, Paul Levesque. Well, Triple H. Well, Big Nose McGee. It would help, and we would be able to enjoy the shows, and we wouldn't need to critique if you booked good shows. There's a wild concept, right, Triple H? Wild concept. Book a good show, we won't complain. If you don't want us to complain, if it really hurts your ego that much to the point where you feel the need to take digs at the fans, because we all know you don't like the fans. He said before, a few years ago, when was it a Raw or SmackDown, he went out and said, mocking the fans, if you don't like it, me and my friend Mark, we're going to stop watching. Do you remember that promo? He does not like the fans because we critique his precious booking. We critique his precious love when it's clearly awful. Triple H, book a good show and no one will complain. It's that simple. It is that simple. You won't have critiques. People won't be critiquing everything you do. If you give us a reason to be entertained every week, give us a reason to be entertained. Give us entertaining shows. Don't bore us into depression every week. And maybe we will not complain. Don't give us an absolutely awful, horrendous, boring, lack of effort WrestleMania and people won't complain about it. And you won't have to go out there after what was it? The roast of WrestleMania, which is just another money grab that they could do. As many events that they can possibly throw in a weekend, just throw it to them. Tony Hinchcliffe, whatever the fuck his name is, you come out, mate. You're a celebrity. We absolutely adore celebrities. Jelly Roll, you have a SummerSlam match. Travis Scott, main event of WrestleMania. Tony Hinchcliffe, have your own show. Tom Segura, have your own segment, even though you've disrespected the company, the fans, and the business, and the wrestlers. Where was I going with this? Triple H, it's like he thinks he's the only person in the world that is immune from the basic rule of life that if you're bad at your profession, if you're bad at what you do, you're gonna get criticized for it. That's kind of how it works. That's kind of how life works. That's kind of how having a job works. If you're bad at it, you get criticized for it. You can't be bad at your job and just expect everyone to just be like, oh no, it's fine. We enjoy it. You're not going to improve. Your company's not going to improve if you do that, if you act like that. I've said this analogy on a video before, but I'll say it again. It's like owning a restaurant. Right, put yourself in this position, right? Put yourself in the position. You've got this restaurant, right? You've got this restaurant that you've been going to since you were a kid, since you were a child. You've loved it since you were a kid. Maybe you've gone to it with family members, friends. You've got a lot of memories of the place, right? The restaurant is WWE, if you're following along. You got this restaurant that you love. right? Have since you was a kid. It's fallen off through the years, but you still go because you still love the place. You want to see it succeed. You want it to do well, right? So you're going to still keep going. You're going to give it a chance every week. You're going to go every Monday and every Friday. Sometimes a Saturday or Sunday as well when they do a special, right? You keep going because you love the place and you want it to do well. And it's been there since you was a kid, okay? And this whole time there's been an owner. There's been an owner there that you've, again, as long as you've been alive, you've only known that one owner. Fallen off in the last few years. So there's new ownership. Right, the previous owner does a lot of dodgy shit with. I'm not going to get into it, but he did a lot of illegal stuff. He had to go. He had to go, mate. So this new guy comes in, who's very new. He's ran a local restaurant that wasn't really that big, didn't really get that many customers. NXT, but he did quite well there. Then he comes over to this big, huge restaurant, right? The biggest in the city, one of the biggest restaurants in the country, right? It's a huge restaurant. This guy comes in and thinks that he knows it all. Everything he does is perfect because he ran a little local restaurant that didn't really do that well, didn't really get that many customers. He comes to this big, huge restaurant and thinks he has it down, right? He doesn't need to be criticised. He doesn't need your criticism. He's perfect. The meals he's cooking, the food is perfect. And if you complain about it, if you sit there and say, my food is raw, this chicken, it's pink, right? I asked for a chicken burger with a beef burger with fries and all these different sides, right? A big, huge meal, maybe some ribs, maybe some brisket. I'm getting hungry now. It's late in the night and I'm getting hungry. I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. But it is what it is. We're rolling. We're rolling. You complain about this food, right? You ask for all of this and you just get one piece of chicken breast, half a chicken breast, not seasoned, and it's raw. And you complain about it because you have every right to complain about it. It's not what you asked for, and it's genuinely just bad. It's going to go out of business, right? So you complain. And then this new owner, this new head of the head of the company guy says, "No, you're not a real fan. You're not a real fan. Get out. If you don't critique me, if you're going to critique, just be a critic. Just be a fan." It's kind of just not how it works, though, is it? If you're getting, it's a customer served, it's a customer based company. We are your customers, Triple H. We are your customers. You are serving us a product, a show that we sit down to be entertained by. If it's not entertaining us, we're going to either stop watching, which a lot of people have through the years, or we're going to complain. We're not going to sit here and just accept it and be like, no, it's great, it's fine, it's perfect, just because we've loved it in the past. Taking it back to the restaurant, we're not going to sit here and accept this raw, rotten food just because we've had it since we were a kid. Just because we love the place and always will love the place, possibly, depends what TKO do to the company. We're always going to love the place, but that doesn't mean we have to sit here and accept it. That doesn't mean we're going to sit here and allow you to take this business into the ground and out of business. Treat us like we've served this company with our loyalty. We're back to WWE now. The restaurant is done. The restaurant talk is done. It's over with. Hopefully you enjoyed. um, but we've been watching this a lot of us since we was a kid. However old you are, whether you were watching during the Attitude Era, before that, the Golden Era, the Hulk Hogan era, Randy Savage, going into the Stone Cold Rock era, right? Going into Ruthless Aggression, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, and the guy that shall not be named. Into the John Cena era. We've all witnessed it. We've been here since we were kids. And we're going to be here still. And we're still here watching, giving you our time. And you give us absolutely nothing in return. We give you all of our money right? Anyone that goes to a show, you're paying thousands these days. In 2025, you have to pay an entire mortgage to go to a WWE show, right? You have to sell your house, sell your cat, sell your dog, sell your child, right? Get 2 jobs. You've got to be working 2 or 3 jobs, you and your wife. Your 5-year-old son, got to get him on the farms, got to get him working, right? Your dog, get him a job, get her a job, get your cat, find a job for her. Just to go to a WWE show in 2025. Especially live events when they go to these different countries. I looked. Clash at the Castle. Was it Wales? It was Wales. A few years ago, I wanted to go. The ticket prices were ridiculous. I could have gone, I could have done it, but I was not giving this company my hard-earned money when they gave us nothing. Well, actually, back then we had Roman Reigns and the Bloodline at the top of the. At least we had something entertaining. These days they charge you even more. The prices are going up and up and up, and the effort is going less and less and less. We give them all of our time, all of our money, right? People that went to WrestleMania, how much money did they spend? Absolutely thousands. And what did they get? They got Travis Scott. That is Triple H's way of thanking you for following and supporting and being a fan of this company. And guess what? Guess what? If you went to WrestleMania, you paid thousands. Maybe you went with a family member. If you went with a family of 4, right? Family of 4. That's just going to get me thinking of that advert. Jet 2. Anyway, Jet 2 holiday, family of 4. Anyway, if you went with a family of 4 to WrestleMania, you've paid an absolute shit ton of money. And if you didn't like it, because you have every right to pay thousands of money, your hard-earned money, and not like what you saw, if you paid thousands of money to go and see something, you have every right to critique it when it was very clearly bad. Triple H would say to you, you're not a real fan. In fact, he said it. At the Tony Hinchcliffe roast of WrestleMania, he said after it, it ended with him, of course. He has to be the start of everything. WrestleMania has to start with him. You have to see him constantly. He has to remind you constantly he's running this. End of the show, what do you see? Start of the show, what do you see? The credits, his voice over it. The end of the show, what do you see? His name, produced by Triple H, Paul Levesque, whatever. He ended this roast of WrestleMania and he said, if you didn't like WrestleMania, F you. Bear in mind, this was not televised. This was not on TV. So he was talking to people in the arena that had probably gone to WrestleMania because they're there in Vegas. They've gone to this show. They probably went to WrestleMania as well. So they've paid thousands to go to WrestleMania, and he's telling them, if you didn't like it, F you. Imagine any other owner of a company, any other business or anything, telling their customers, F you if you didn't like what I just served you, even though it was very clearly bad. He has to constantly be in the limelight, the centre of attention, in the spotlight, the face of the company. That's what this new show Unreal is about. They've just dropped a new trailer for it. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the new trailer. I watched the first one. I hate it. I hate it so much. But this entire show is just Triple H, again, needing to be in the spotlight, needing to be in the limelight, needing to be the face of the company. He thought, right, I'm not a wrestler anymore, so the cameras aren't on me. I'm behind the scenes. I'm behind the curtain, right? The cameras aren't on me. I can only get them on me so much, right? I can only do so many press conferences. I can only open so many WrestleManias. I need more. I need more and more and more. I need more cameras on me. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have the cameras come to me behind the scenes. We'll create an entire show exposing the business more than it's ever been exposed before. I get that kayfabe in 2025 is just unrealistic. We're not going to have kayfabe 100% alive anymore, where heels and faces, people that are in feuds, stay in different cities. That's not going to happen anymore, like it did back in the day, or even 10 years ago. It's gone. But this new show is genuinely taking the curtain ripping it down, spitting on it, and disrespecting it. This isn't just tearing the curtain down. This is disrespecting kayfabe. The magic is gone. The magic is gone. Imagine you went to another analogy for you. We've dropped the restaurant, but we're going into another one. You went to a magic show, right? I love my analogies. You go to a magic show, right? You go to a magic show, and the magician is doing all these tricks, and each trick you go, oh my god, what did I just witness? That was crazy. That was entertaining. I'm going to remember that when I go home, and I'm going to go home thinking, how did he do that? Right? It's going to be on your mind. How did he do that? What went into that? Right? What went into it? Right? It's going to be. That's why it's called magic. It leaves you. It's mysterious, right? You know, it's not real. But at the same time, you're like, damn, how did they do that? Was that real? What wasn't real? How did he do that? Same for WWE. We have to keep that magic alive at least a little bit. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Triple H, especially The Rock, constantly telling you the business is fake. It's a work. Right? 20 minutes after John Cena just turned heel, one of the biggest moments we've ever witnessed in this business, ever. Maybe if you're a younger fan, the biggest moment you've ever witnessed. John Cena turned heel and aligned with The Rock. And then 20 minutes later, Dwayne Johnson is there at one of these press conferences exposing it, telling you why they did it, how they did it, what went into it, who came up with the idea of it. Oh, this is why we did it, and I came to John and I said this, and then we came to this decision, and we came up with this idea, and this is what we did. Just exposing it, and it's happened more than once. And then he goes on Pat McAfee, and it exposes the business again. Some podcaster interview, I'm not too sure his name. In fact, I have no idea what his name is, but I'm pretty sure he's on Busted Open or one of those podcasts. On Instagram, there was a video of him talking about The Rock not showing up to WrestleMania because he should have. Absolutely needed to. You can't start something and then not finish it. But there's this video on Instagram, and Dwayne Johnson decides to comment because his ego is very, very fragile. That's why you see he's such a, like, you don't know what he never gives you his true thoughts on something because he is a PR machine. Nothing he says are his thoughts. He's just one big walking PR machine. So he feels that, oh, someone attacked me. Someone said something negative to me. So he decides to comment. And what he comments is basically just saying, oh, it's just all a work, mate. Why do you care that much? I can't remember exactly what it says. You can Google it, but it was basically him just saying, oh, it's all a work. Like, why do you care that much? Like, it's a work. It's not real. Like, we're all in on it. It's a work. It's not real. Why do you care that much? You need to keep the magic alive a little bit, Dwayne. You bald-headed weirdo. We need to keep that magic alive. At least a little bit still. Otherwise, it's going to kill the business. It's not special anymore. It's not special anymore. Imagine Prime Attitude Era. Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon, right? The peak of their feud, the peak of their story, all the fun moments that they had together, everything that they did. Heated, right? And then 20 minutes after the show, you've got Mr. McMahon there or Stone Cold going, oh, so this is why we decided to have a monster truck out there, and this is why I decided to go out, run over his car and fill his car with cement, because we had this idea that if I did this, then that would get me extra heat. And I went to Vince and I said, what if we did this? The magic is gone. It's not special, is it? No, it wouldn't be anywhere near as special of a moment and as big. Stone Cold Booker T, supermarket brawl. Imagine 10 minutes later, they're sat outside the supermarket going, yeah, so this is why we did it. This is how we came up with the idea. It's not special, is it? The magic is gone. Same thing in 2025. This new show is exposing it. You're going to see people, Triple H is in the trailer, in the first trailer, you saw him going up to Jey Uso and saying, we're going to put the rocket on you. We're going to put the rocket on you, Jay. And you're going to see, you saw John Cena at Elimination Chamber going through the match before it, right? Rehearsing. So you're going to get to see people rehearsing their matches. We don't want to see that. We don't need to see that. Some people might want to see that. It might excite some people. It's going to get viewers because that's all they care about. But we don't need to see that. Wrestling fans, we don't need to see it. We don't want to see what goes into every little thing and take the magic away. Take the spot, take that special feel away. Wrestling is like nothing else on earth. There's nothing like it. There's nothing you can compare it to. It's magic. It's special. And slowly but surely, and now this new show, Unreal, is stripping that away entirely. We've said for years, oh, kayfabe is dead. Kayfabe is dead. But there was still always that tiny bit. Now you can actually say it's dead. Now it's dead for real. Now there is no kayfabe. Kayfabe does not exist anymore. We get to see everything. But the only positive thing of this is we get to see how Triple H's brain works. How he comes up with these absolutely awful ideas. How does he come up with Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul? How did he come up with that? I'll watch that episode. I will watch that episode. I want to know what he came up with, how he came up with that idea. I need to see that. That is something I do want to see. How on earth does a human being running the biggest professional wrestling company in the entire world go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. It's it's just, I mean, it's going to become a normal thing eventually, right? This show Unreal, it's going to become a normal thing. It's going to become one of their flagships. It's going to be Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Unreal. It's going to be on that level. They're going to treat it like that. They're going to make it a huge thing. They're going to expose the business to as many people as humanly possible. And in the process, we all get to see how stupid Triple H is. The whole world gets to see just how purely uncreative and stupid this guy is. That's the only positive thing here. That is the only positive thing. We're going to get to see what goes into making these awful shows. These boring shows that have nothing to them. Too many shows. I don't know how they're going to cram all of these into one episode. Right? If it's like a 7-episode series, you're going to have 2 PLEs per episode. There's that many PLEs. Like, we've just gone through Night of Champions, right? Then we had an entire weekend of Saturday Night's Main Event Evolution. Now, we've got to get to SummerSlam. There's 19 days. Or at least on Raw, there was 19 days. So now 17 days. As I'm recording this, 17 days to SummerSlam. SummerSlam, their second biggest show of the entire year, has 17 days to build up to it. We'll say 19. After Evolution, there was 19 days to build up to it. 2.5... let's call it 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks to build up to SummerSlam, which is 2 nights. 2 nights. So you've got 3 weeks to build 2 nights of SummerSlam. 2 entire nights. You've only got a couple of weeks now to somehow get people excited, because we're not. The only thing that they've promoted so far, at least properly, put a little bit of effort into, is a Jelly Roll match. They've put more effort into this than Cody Rhodes and John Cena. And they're going to put more effort into it than CM Punk and Gunther, because that's all they care about. Though they will prioritise celebrities over their biggest names, no matter who you are. They are going to prioritise Jelly Roll. It would not surprise me if it was main event of night 1. Don't be surprised if it's main event of night 1, because that's how they view celebrities. They would do anything for celebrities, no matter what list they are: A list, C list, D list, F list, Z list. They're going to give you the world because they absolutely adore celebrities. I don't know who's tuning into a WWE show, seeing a random celebrity from a Netflix show that they've never watched or heard of in their life and thinking, oh, WWE is where it's at. They are on top of the world. They're more popular than they've ever been. Jelly Roll is having a match at SummerSlam. Jelly Roll seems like a good guy. He seems like he's really passionate about this. He's putting effort into this. Fine. Whatever. Why is Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton dragged into it? I'm not going to go into that because I've already gone over that in 2 videos, I think. Right, I've already gone in the Saturday Night's Main Event and All-In review, which has done very well, so I appreciate all of you for that one. Oh, that's done very well. That's humbled me. That's made me feel good about myself. I enjoyed making it. I'm glad people enjoyed watching it. But I went over it in that video and then another one since. I don't want to go over it again. I do not want to go over it again. But it tells you everything. When they are having Tom Segura on the show, giving him an entire segment, letting him have microphone time on a show after everything he said about the company in the past. Disrespecting the fans, the business, the industry, the wrestlers that have put their bodies on. People have died in the ring. People have become paralysed in the ring. And he's on his show disrespecting it, laughing at it, mocking it. And they just give him, yeah, you can come on the show, mate, doesn't matter. Any celebrity they could possibly have on the show, yes, they'll have you. They will have you. If you're a celebrity, don't know why you'd be watching this video, but if you're a celebrity and you want to get involved in WWE, ask them. They will 100% say yes. They will give you a match. They'll give you a storyline. They might even give you the main event of WrestleMania. Just ask Travis Scott. Doesn't matter who you are. They will give you the world. I can't remember where this rant came from, to be honest. I can't remember where it started from. I was talking about too many shows, and then I can't remember, to be honest. I can't remember. Either way, let's go back to too many shows. There are far too many shows to build up to SummerSlam. We don't have long enough. So it's going to be rematch after rematch after rematch, which we're already seeing. We don't have CM Punk, Gunther, right? Someone's actually something that everyone wants to see. Fair enough. Everyone is interested in this. It's new. We haven't seen it before, and people care about seeing these two go at it, right? In a storyline and match. But the issue is, we don't have long enough to get into it properly, which is a theme of WWE and Triple H wasting so many opportunities. CM Punk, John Cena, thrown away at Night of Champions with, and then whatever they did to it, with Penta and Sami Zayn involved in it for whatever reason, when we could have had it at SummerSlam. R-Truth being the biggest talking point in the entire industry, and they've done nothing with him. To the point where no one is talking about R-Truth anymore. They've took him from being the biggest talking point in the entire industry. They had potential to do something huge with R-Truth. Something huge. A huge storyline that rocked the business, rocked the world of professional wrestling. And they've just got him losing to Aleister Black. Well, actually, he didn't lose. He beat him. He rolled him up. But he's going to lose. They're going to have a rematch. He's going to lose. That's what they're doing with him. They've done nothing with him since. Potential. Gone. Drew McIntyre. People wanted to see him again. People were waiting for him to return. Everyone loved his feud with CM Punk. It was incredible. It was perfect. Then you put him into something with Damian Priest, which he ends up losing. He goes away injured. His first show back, takes an RKO, and then straight into something with Jelly Roll for SummerSlam. That's their way of thanking Drew McIntyre. Their way of thanking Chad Gable. Money in the Bank weekend. Doing Worlds Collide. Then doing Money in the Bank the same day. Putting his body on the line in both of them. Going all out, not holding back at all in both of them. Their way to repay him and thank him for doing that for the company, Triple H's way of thanking him for doing that, is he loses on Raw. Right? Saturday, he does the job twice, loses twice both nights, but puts his body on. Sorry, not both nights. Twice in a day, puts his body on the line, loses in both, and then the Raw after, 2 nights later, he takes another loss to AJ Styles for no reason. But that is just Triple H not caring about loyalty, not caring about history, not caring about what people have given to the company. R-Truth is the biggest example of that. Gives everything to the company. Gives years of acting like an idiot for the company. Years of not showing his talent, his potential, because they rather have him go out there in a snowman costume or something, make himself look like an idiot. But he did that. He did everything they asked of him, and he did it with a smile on his face. And the way they repay him is release him. And then Triple H has the balls to go out there and act like it was a work. Are you enjoying the show? First of all, no, we're not enjoying the show. But it wasn't a work. They just tried to act like it was to save face, but it wasn't. That was their way of saying thank you to R-Truth. Don't let him say thank you and goodbye to the fans. Just release him after everything he's given to us. I've wrote down a couple little categories I wanted to go over in this video because I didn't want to completely waffle my head off 100% about the same thing for an hour. So, another thing I wanted to talk about. Chants. Wrestling fan chants. Specifically, WWE fans. Chants. We have to stop with the "We want tables" chants because, get it right, it's a Slim Jim table, first of all. We want Slim Jim. That's what you need to be chanting in 2025, so get it right. But I don't get the chant anyway. What's so special about a table? There are better weapons to use. Why not chant, we want a baseball bat, we want cinder block, we want fire extinguisher, we want car window, we want ambulance door window, we want lion. You know what I mean? Like, there's cooler things under the ring to chant for than a table. And we're still doing it after years. It's cringe. We don't want tables. Stop it. Keep them special. They get used on every show now because they've got a Slim Jim table on them. So they have to get that logo on the show somehow. Let's just use a table so they're no longer special. Stop chanting for them. Please, stop. And the biggest one is "This is awesome" chants. Because that gets chanted every single match, not just every show. Every match, that gets chanted. No matter if it's an average match, good match, great match, actually an awesome match, or just a bad match, that chant will get chanted 2 minutes into it. Right? 2 minutes into the match, both wrestlers will be down, or they've just had a little sequence, not even a good sequence, just a sequence. This is awesome. No, it's not. No, it's not. So when you actually do get an awesome match, it means nothing. Because you chanted it 5 matches previous, when they weren't awesome. So now when you are actually chanting it during an awesome match, it means nothing. It's gone. That feeling of it is gone. You know what I mean? Like, we have to change these chants up. We have to make new chants. We have to create new ones. I mean, I'm from England. English fans and football fans, masters of creating chants. We can give you some if you want. But we have to stop "This is awesome." What about this is alright. This is quite good. This is boring. Fans don't call out WWE anymore. We don't get "this is bullshit" chants anymore, or boring chants anymore, like we did years ago, when fans actually did speak up. Remember Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell? Fans after the match happened, chanting "We want refunds" and "This is bullshit" and boring, and just booing it. That wouldn't happen in 2025. People would be chanting "This is awesome." They'd be clapping it. They'd be like, "Yay, we want tables." You don't get fans I remember a few years ago, a Randy Orton versus Sheamus match, was it? It might have been, I'm pretty sure. And the fans were just chanting boring because they were sick of it. They've saw it so many times in the past. The match had no reason for it. There was no reason for that match. It had nothing on the line. There was no reason for that match. It was pointless. And no one wanted to see it. So they actually spoke up and started chanting boring and started chanting the commentators' names and just started chanting for old legends wrestlers' names. Fans used to speak up. They used to let their voice be heard. But now in 2025, because they've paid so much money, they want to have a good time. They want to make the most of it. Right? That's what they want to do. They don't want to pay thousands to go to a show and then boo. They want to make the most of it, right? They want to see it in a positive way. Even if they didn't love it, they want to try and at least have fun with it. That's why they yeet every time Jey Uso makes his entrance. That's why you always hear them chant one more time, because they've got nothing else to cheer for in the night. They've paid thousands to go to the show. They at least want to sing along to something because they've got nothing else to chant for. They could see the worst thing that's ever happened in professional wrestling, the worst booking we've ever seen, and they'd clap along to it. Or at worst, they'd be silent. Oh no. But they wouldn't chant bullshit. They wouldn't chant "we want refunds" like they would have even a few years ago. They wouldn't anymore. WWE fans in 2025 is just kids bringing their parents along to come and see a fun show, and we get to sing along and have a nice time, and we'll have a nice family day out. That's all it is. It's not wrestling fans going there to see a wrestling show, see storylines and see matches. It's not. It's just, oh, WWE's in town. That'd be a fun thing to take my kid to. Let's go to a WWE show. We'll sing along to whatever the rest of the fans chant. This is awesome and yeet. And we want tables. I don't even know what table means. What does a WWE table look like? But I'll chant it because everyone else is. Annoying, frustrating, boring. Come up with new chants. The other thing I wrote down: posters, graphics. Have you seen the graphics and posters for SummerSlam for Jelly Roll, Randy Orton, Drew, and Logan? Have you seen it? It is the most graphic design is my passion thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the worst. I could create better. You could create a better graphic than that. It's just them. It's just four men, full body, pasted on top of the stadium. And that's it. That's it. Graphics and posters and visuals are so important. It might not seem it, but it is. It is. Think of your favourite WrestleMania of all time. 17, or if you're a recent fan, maybe 30, maybe 33. Now, imagine the visuals were just boring, not a lot of colour, the poster was awful, looked like a 2-year-old made it. It wouldn't feel as special, would it? It's part of the presentation, and presentation is huge. Same presentation for theme songs and looks and the wrestler's gear and posters and a theme song for a pay-per-view. It's all part of that presentation, and presentation is huge. I don't know what happened to SummerSlam. SummerSlam used to be colourful, right? Because it's summer. Every poster used to be wrestlers fighting with water guns and in a paddling pool and on a grass, and it was colourful. Green, blue, yellow, in the sun, and it was summer, right? It had a summer feel to it, called SummerSlam. Now, the last couple of years, it's just grey. I don't know what, that's Survivor Series colours. Survivor Series is grey. Why have they made SummerSlam grey? SummerSlam used to be the most colourful event. It used to be a summer vibe. It used to have a fun summer feel to it. Now it's just grey. It's like they're purposely going out of the way to make everything as boring as possible for us. Even the SummerSlam. Oh, people like SummerSlam. How can we make it just boring and depressing, right? SummerSlam has a fun feel to it, and we don't want fun. We definitely don't want fun. We don't want the fans having a fun feel. Let's make it grey. Let's just dim it. Let's make the graphics look absolutely awful and just grey. Boring colours. Grey, black, white, silver. Let's just make it the most boring possible colours to depress people before the show's even happened. Look at the colours of SummerSlam and tell me it's not already depressing. Make it colourful, man. Presentation is everything, and we don't have presentation anymore. We don't have good theme songs. We don't have good looks. We don't have good attires. We don't have good posters, good theme songs for pay per views. It's all gone. It's all boring because the company is trying to bore us to death. They go out their way to bore us to death with the shows and everything with the shows. Now, my voice is getting a bit tired, I'll be honest with you, boys. My throat is starting to feel a bit sore. So for this last 10 minutes ish, we're going to be a bit more casual with it. We're just going to have a nice little casual chat. I'm done with the ranting. I can't be bothered to put any more effort into this company. So we're just going to have a nice little chat. Let me know who your favourite wrestling YouTubers are. Who have you watched? Who's top of the peak right now? I know C-Jax is doing his thing. What's the other guy called? Something Monsoon. Is it Bobby Monsoon? He's doing his thing. But for me, my number one, always, BC Amplified. 100%. Been an Amp Unit member since day one. For years. Watched him since he was, since he first started, really. Since the Cruiserweight division days. Remember that? Remember, what was it called? 205 Live. Does anyone remember 205 Live? That was actually, compared to now, that was actually entertaining. Which is mental to think about, right? 205 Live used to main event Raws. And that is better than what we get today. Genuinely, it actually is. That's not exaggerating. I remember Enzo Amore joining 205 Live and having that segment where he was just ripping the entire roster apart, going through each person and cutting a promo on them. Those were the good days, man. Enzo Amore actually brought us some entertainment on a Raw, right? I miss that guy. He didn't do what he was accused of. He got proven innocent, and his career's just been ruined since then. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing today. Is he part of a promotion? I don't think so. He might be. You know what? He's just doing his thing, and fair play to him. Remember, he showed up to Survivor Series that one year. But yeah, BC Amplified, man. I've been there since day one. Obviously, JD. Is JD the biggest? I think he is, right? I think every time I see people talking on social media about anyone, it's usually JD, and usually not in a good way. I have no issue with JD. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't think everyone does. If you agree with everything someone says, that's probably not good. You need your own thoughts. You need your own opinions. Even if you really like someone, develop your own opinions and thoughts. But honestly, BC and that was the reason I made this channel, because I don't have anyone to rant about. As I said at the start of this, I don't have anyone to really rant about wrestling to in real life. Like, as I say, friends that used to watch it don't watch it anymore. Like, they watched it when we were kids, which was kind of ruthless aggression transitioning into PG era kind of time. That was when I grew up. So I missed Attitude Era. I missed it. Very disappointing. I mean, I'm glad I'm not older, but if I was older, I would have witnessed that. So that's kind of a, bittersweet. If I had a time machine, I would go back to Attitude Era, which is probably a bit stupid. There's probably better things I could go back to, but I'd really want to go back to that. Just to witness things live, right? Go live and see some of the things Stone Cold used to do. The beer bash, right? I'd teleport, time machine, get me in that crowd with the beer bash. Get me in that crowd for WrestleMania 25, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. Best match of all time, right? Is it still the best match of all time? I think it's the best match that I've seen. I think it ticks every box. It had the storyline building up to it. It's at WrestleMania on the biggest stage. It's Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. It had the near falls. It had everything. It had the emotion. It had everything, which is important for a good wrestling match. You can't just have gymnastics, a few suicide dives, and call it the best match of all time. You need feeling, emotion, and a story to it. But let me know what you lot, your favourite match of all time. whether that's new, old. Maybe I'll go back and watch it if I haven't watched it. Any suggestions? I will be there. I will go watch. I don't know if anyone's still watching this. Fair play to you. Fair play to you, because I have waffled for all of this. I wouldn't listen to this. I would not listen back to this if I was anyone else. Because I don't even know. I can't even remember what I've spoken about. It's midnight right now. It is 11 past 12 midnight. And I've just spoke about wrestling for the past hour. I mean, to be fair, that's why I made this channel. Because I just love ranting about professional wrestling. I love talking about it and thinking about it. And BC, as I said, BC is what's inspired me to do this. Because, as I say, don't have anyone to rant about it to. So I made a YouTube channel to rant about it. And hopefully people listen. If not, it doesn't matter. People listening, people subscribing, it's just a bonus, you know what I mean? I'm here to just get my opinions out and just rant about something that annoys me most weeks. In fact, every week, right? Rant about Triple H. Even though he thinks you're not allowed to. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, apparently, because I critique him. This video alone has made me not a fan. I've critiqued him. How dare me? But no, my All In review, my All In Saturday Night's Main Event review has done very well. I didn't expect to do that well. I think I did. I think it was a good video, but I didn't expect it to do that well. It surprised me, and I think I got like over 40 subscribers from it. So that surprised me. I was like, hey, damn, okay, I ain't complaining about that. But what a night All In was, man. What a night. I was going to review AEW Dynamite. Didn't quite get round to watching it. I looked on social media and saw what happened throughout the night. Not all of it, but the key points. And it seems like they didn't really carry on the momentum from All In, which AEW has done before and do all the time. They have something great and then they don't really carry on that momentum. They don't really capitalize, which they need to do, because WWE is at a point where people are desperate for an alternative. People are desperate for a reason to not watch WWE. People are desperate for just a wrestling show. Now, AEW is our main hope and chance of that happening. But they don't really capitalize on our big opportunities. They'll throw out a really good event, whether it's a Double or Nothing, whether it's a All In, Anarchy in the Arena. That match is one of the best things I've ever witnessed in wrestling. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Are you joking me? Are you kidding me? That's incredible. They have a moment like that and a show like that and a match like that, but then they don't really. They need to make shows every week. They need to make Dynamite entertaining. They can't just live off of people tuning into the pay-per-views because they know they're going to get a good show. You need to give them a good show every week so that they stick around. They don't just watch the PLE, they watch PLE. I'm stuck in talking about WWE. They don't just watch the pay-per-view, they watch after it. And then after that, the next week and the next week, and then they watch the next PLE. Pay-per-view, god damn it, pay-per-view. That's what AEW needs to do more. They need to capitalize on this momentum. Everyone loved All In. Everyone loved All In. A lot of people probably tuned into Dynamite to think, oh, I wonder where it's going to go. I wonder, what's going to happen next. I wonder where it's going to go. Hopefully carry on momentum. And it doesn't really. I'm not saying it was a bad show because I didn't watch it. I can't judge if it was a good show or not. But I didn't see anyone raving about it. I didn't see any big moments or any big storylines or anything big continued from All In, which is a shame. It's a shame. We need AEW to succeed. Even if you're a die-hard WWE fan, you don't want to watch anyone else. You have to want AEW to do well, because if they do well, WWE improves. And it's the best for everyone. We all win. Both companies, and especially the fans, win if AEW starts putting on good shows every week. More and more people start tuning into AEW. WWE suddenly need to put, a wild concept, a bit of effort into their shows. and we all win in the process. We get a good AEW and a good WWE, which I think everyone would get behind, even if you're a diehard AEW fan. If WWE is doing great, AEW needs to do great, vice versa. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to get to sleep. I'm going to have a nice dream. I've spoke about WWE for long enough in this video. I might even dream about WWE. Hopefully not. The time I sleep is my peace. Every time I'm awake, every now and then I'll look at social media and I'll see something else stupid that WWE's done. So when I'm asleep, I know for sure I'm not getting annoyed by WWE. So hopefully I'm not dreaming about them after how long I've just spoke about them. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's a lot of waffle. Hopefully you enjoyed though. But subscribe.